Farewell. This is the Stroud.
Hey guys, it's MugenLord here, and today I want to talk about Final Fantasy XII Zodiac of Age. Now, if you guys don't know, this game was released just a few days ago, July 11th, and I just want to give you guys my impressions of what I think of the game so far. Now, the thing is, if you guys have never played Final Fantasy XII, this game is pretty much a remaster of the international Japanese version that was released years ago. They have changed a couple of the gameplay mechanics, and I will dive into the gameplay mechanics in a separate video, see what have changed with the game, and see if you guys may have some interest in the game if you have never played Final Fantasy XII at all. So the thing about Final Fantasy XII, back when it was released back in 2006 of March, it had pretty much caused a lot of controversy, and that was pretty much based on the decisions that Square Enix had decided to take up with this game. Now, if you guys have played Final Fantasy or heard of Final Fantasy and seen what Final Fantasy had to offer in terms of gameplay, you can tell right off the bat just by looking at the footage that this game is totally much more different. It's not your typical turn-based Final Fantasy game that most people have grown to love with the franchise, and that's where it caused a split with the community. Not only that, Final Fantasy XII was also released during, I guess you could say, I wouldn't say the end life, but I guess you could say we were stepping into the next generation of consoles, which was the Xbox 360 and the PS3 and Nintendo Wii. So this came out around during that time. So a lot of people haven't really got a chance to really experience Final Fantasy XII. And then you also had the people who loved the game versus the people who just wanted to just do away with the game because it wasn't your traditional Final Fantasy game. So now we fast forward here in 2017. Square Enix decided they wanted to do a remaster of Final Fantasy XII, and I must say that this game pretty much holds up pretty well. It aged pretty well, and from what I've been reading, what I've been hearing from a lot of my friends and other members of the Final Fantasy community, especially Final Fantasy XII itself, that this game has pretty much aged in a way where this game can be, I guess you could say, well received and can be digested a bit better. In today's, I guess you could say, RPG market right about now. It does stand the test of time, and it does compare to a lot of RPGs of today compared to the way RPGs were a few years ago. So what I think about the game so far, I had owned the game, and I still own a copy of the original PS2, and during this time when this game was released, I was already a second semester sophomore back at Mansfield University. So during this time, classes were getting much more intense, so I really couldn't invest the time that I wanted to have with this game. And when I did play it back during the PS2 era, I enjoyed it for what it was. It was very addictive, and it had like an MMO single player experience to the game as well, which I guess you could say it turned a lot of traditional Final Fantasy fans off for the simple fact of the MMO, I guess you say, feel or aspects to it, and especially where there's a lot of gamers who didn't like Final Fantasy XI, so a lot of people who also compared the game to Final Fantasy XI in terms of gameplay. But during the time I did play the game, I really enjoyed this game very much. It's very addictive, and it's very different. And like I said before, I'm gonna do a separate video explaining the combat system, what's been changed and everything, because in this version, there's been a class system added to the game, because the original version didn't have a class system. You had your license board, which I would definitely go into what the license board does when it comes to customizing your character and giving your character particular spells, weapons, items. But so far, I'm enjoying the game. I spent about a good 3 hours just grinding with my characters, leveling them up. But this game is real good, and if you guys have never tried Final Fantasy XII, I advise you guys to just give it a try. And if you guys have played Final Fantasy XII in the past and was debating whether or not you should pick it up, I think you should definitely pick this game up. It's very fun. If you guys enjoyed the original Final Fantasy XII, you'll definitely enjoy this, especially since we had never gotten our hands on the international version. So yes, there's some gameplay balances added to the game, job system added to the game. The gambit system has been fleshed out even more. The game is super exciting, and I really enjoy it so much. So stay tuned later on this week. I will definitely have some more videos up on the game, explaining the combat, explaining the gambit system, explaining how the license board works, explaining how the job system works, and everything. So stay tuned for that. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you guys are into Final Fantasy XII. Make sure you leave that in the comment section below. This is MugenLord, and I'm signing off.